What's up, Steelers Nation? Welcome back to Steelers Fix Daily. All right, let's get right into it. Pittsburgh doesn't do rebuilds. Not under Mike Tomlin, not with this fan base. So when the Steelers open up training camp 2025 at St. Vincent College on July 23rd, it's not going to feel like just another summer in Latrobe. It's going to feel like a reckoning. Because for the first time in over a decade, the Steelers are walking into a season with legitimate Super Bowl buzz. Not preseason hype. Real expectations. Not just because of the players we added, but because of what those additions mean. Pittsburgh is all in on 2025. Let's break down what fans need to know heading into camp. First off, key details. Players report July 23rd, rookies and vets. Location, St. Vincent College, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Open to fans? Absolutely. And it's going to be packed. That place is going to be buzzing from day one. For the people who've never been, Latrobe is special. You walk up the hill, hear the pads popping, and you feel it. You're standing on Steelers ground. Legends were built there, and this roster, it feels like it was designed for that environment. Now let's talk about the offseason, because this wasn't your typical Pittsburgh spring. This was the boldest offseason we've had since the Cowher to Tomlin transition. Here's the short version. Additions: Aaron Rodgers. Yes, that Aaron Rodgers. DK Metcalf. Jalen Ramsey. Darius Slay. Jonnu Smith, Juan Thornhill, and Mason Rudolph back as QB2. Departures: Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, George Pickens, Dan Moore Jr., Larry Ogunjobi. That's not tweaking, that's a full identity shift. Average age of those additions? Over 32 years old. Translation: we're not building for 2026. And let's not forget the rookies, because they didn't ignore the future either. The 2025 draft class brought in some tough blue-collar talent. Derek Harmon, DT out of Oregon. Caleb Johnson, running back from Iowa. Jack Sawyer, edge from Ohio State. Yahya Black, another DT from Iowa. Will Howard, quarterback, also Ohio State. Carson Bruner, linebacker from Washington. Dante Kent, cornerback from Central Michigan. Harmon and Sawyer in particular. Don't be surprised if they're pushing for reps with the ones early in camp, especially with how deep this defense is going to rotate. All right, let's talk storylines because there are plenty. First up, the Rodgers effect. It still feels crazy to say this, but Aaron Rodgers is a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's healthy. He's motivated. He knows this is likely his final NFL season. And for the first time since early Green Bay, he's on a team that's actually built around him. He's got a WR1 in DK Metcalf. A versatile tight end in Jonnu Smith, a line that looked way better down the stretch last year. And yeah, he's been out in Malibu throwing with these guys all summer. DK, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson. That's not fluff, that's chemistry. And let's be honest, this locker room, it screams Tomlin. Veteran heavy, serious, all business, all in. Another major storyline. TJ Watt still doesn't have his extension. Look, Myles Garrett reset the edge market. So did Max Crosby. TJ's right there with them, if not better. But he's not the guy to go on ESPN and throw a fit. He just shows up, makes the play, and leads by example. But if this thing doesn't get done before camp, every single day is going to be Watt watch. And if he holds out, you thought Steelers Twitter was wild before. Let's shift to position battles because these are going to be loud in Latrobe. QB2, Mason Rudolph versus rookie Will Howard. Howard's got tools, big arm, mobility. But Tomlin loves vets. RB2, Caleb Johnson looks hungry. McFarland's been hanging on. Only two likely make the 53rd. CB3/sub-package snaps. Dante Jackson, Corey Trice Jr., Dante Kent, all fighting behind Ramsey and Slay. Slot WR, Calvin Austin III versus Roman Wilson, speed versus polish. Both are going to get preseason looks. Speaking of preseason, here's the schedule. Week 1 at Jacksonville, August 9th. Week 2 versus Tampa Bay, August 16th. Week 3 at Carolina, August 23rd. These games matter, not for wins, but for depth, chemistry, execution. Now, what does success actually look like in camp? It's not about going 3-0 in the preseason. It's about entering Week 1 confident and healthy. Here's what I want to see. Rodgers makes it through clean. Jonnu and Metcalf build that rhythm. Slay and Ramsey get on the same page in the secondary. The offensive line keeps clicking. And TJ Watt gets paid, without drama. Because here's the thing, the schedule is brutal. If the offense is sloppy in September or the defense takes time to gel, you're chasing the whole season. Camp matters. A lot more than usual. Final word before I wrap. Steelers Nation isn't waiting around this year. They're expecting something big. And they're going to show up loud in Latrobe to see if this roster can deliver. The pressure is real, the spotlight is on, and if it clicks, we could be looking at the team that finally brings Pittsburgh back to where it belongs. That's it for today's episode of Steelers Fix Daily. Make sure to check out the full article at SteelersFix.com for more on this year's training camp, and follow us on Threads, Twitter, and YouTube for nonstop camp updates. Until next time, Steelers Nation, here we go.